Hello, everyone. This is Professor Maloney. When you're watching this video, I'll be up in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So this video is to demonstrate Microsoft Excel Module 1 project. Okay, I won't be doing the whole project, just like I didn't do the whole project in the Module 1 Word project that I created a video on a couple weeks ago. What I will be doing, though, is showing you the important things: downloading the start file, downloading the instructions file, downloading any other resource files that they tell us to download. And then I'll be working on the instructions and the start file on my in my home office here, and I'll do 30 or 40% of the steps, like I did again in the case of the Word one. And then after that, I'm going to save the file and upload it to MindTap for grading. So basically, I'm again demonstrating what you need to do. And of course, you have to do this for 3 projects, and you also have to finish your 4 trainings. I've already provided you guys with a training demonstration for the first, I think it was 7 tasks for each of the 4 Excel modules of training. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start this right away because it's going to be a busy weekend for me. Let's see here. So share my screen. Share. All right. So now I'll hide that. Come on. All right. So I'm going to now go over to MindTap. Right. And again, don't worry about which class I'm in. Okay. You just, when you're doing these, make sure that you check where you are, what your class is, and the due dates based on your class. Okay, hide that so you don't see it too much. Okay, so now I'm in, oh, sorry, I haven't gotten over yet. Okay, so click here, okay, to get MindTap opened for this particular class. Okay, scroll down a little bit. All right, so, excuse me, we're in Excel, so I'm not going to show you the dates because you know the dates, more or less it's the 17th for the final exam for this class. The other class, it may be the 16th, maybe the 15th for the other one, or the 20th or 21st, but they're all within a week of each other, okay? So I'm going to be doing Excel Module 1 project. Remember, I demonstrated the training, demonstrated all the other modules of training for the first 5, 6, or 7 tasks. I believe I did 7, but I'm not positive. So now I'm going to demonstrate this project where I do part of the steps, all right? All right, so as in the case of every project you did in Word, for those of you that did them, you're allowed 3 attempts, okay? And it tells you how many you have remaining based on that, and then click Start to begin. So I'm going to begin, okay? I'm going to download the instruction file and then download the start file. So I'm downloading the instructions. So it's now over here in my downloads. I'm going to now download the start file. Excuse me, it's over there in that. So now I'm going to go to downloads, okay? Let's get out of downloads for a minute so it'll refresh here automatically. Okay, so here's my Excel start file, and here is my Excel instructions file. Okay, I'm going to open both of these. So I'll start by opening the instructions. Okay, so here are the instructions. I don't need to enable editing on it because I'm not going to be doing anything other than reading these. But I also, remember, I always show you that at the bottom of the document, so you scroll down, it shows you what it should be like at the end. So this is what it should look like. It says Final Budget Summary Worksheet. So I'm going to make it bigger just for right now. Okay, so that's basically what yours should look like. And then this, this chart should be here as well. All right, I'll periodically be going back to it as I'm doing the steps, right? But for now, I'm going to try to make that back at 100. Okay, 103, I guess that's okay. All right, so back to the top. All right, now go back to my downloads, excuse me, and open my file, start file, okay? So now remember, oh, that's not the start file, that's our NTech faculty summer schedule at this point. All right, so I'm going to enable editing because this I have to do. I have to enable editing because I have to do this work. So there's a documentation worksheet, and then there's a budget summary worksheet. Okay, so this is where I'm doing the work. This is the start file. Okay, I have to do these calculations, these calculations, these calculations, these calculations, and these calculations. And then I also have to do a chart. Okay, and anything else they tell me to do formatting wise. All right, so I'm going to try to make this and work small, but it may be hard. I always say to you when I do these projects that if you take the document and bang it like to the right or to the left, you get half the screen. So that's half that screen, okay? So then if I open my instructions, this is the instructions for that file. That's for, oh wait, that's for Word. Sorry about that. Why is that one there? All right, because I demonstrated that for another class. What am I looking for? Instructions. This instructions. So it's already now half size, so I don't need to worry about it. All right, so this is, excuse me, the New Era Medical Completed Budget Summary Worksheet, okay? And remember, it's using Excel 2019. So real quickly, let me go over here again for a quick second. Remember that in the class, okay, in the class, if you go, I didn't want you guys to see which class, it doesn't matter though. If you go to the library link, if you have not downloaded Office 2019, which is also Office 365 Pro Plus, depending on where you're using it. When you download it to your computer, it's Office 2019. If you use it online, it's Office 365, where Microsoft does all the updates for you. On your computer, 2019, you do the download, the notifications when they come in. You decide if you want to, install whatever updates. Okay. All right. So I'll get that going again. All right. So I just showed you the final product down here. Right? And again, I'll show you a few more times as I go along. All right, so open the Excel file. It's now open. Remember, it ends in a 1, exactly like Word, but then you change it to end in a 2. So I'm just going to immediately do my file, save as, okay, and I'm just going to let this one here go into our class file for you guys. So desktop, you again don't need to. Just put it wherever you want it to be. I want my spring 2022 and my homestead. And that'll be good enough. But I have to change that now. Don't worry about that second one. That's because I download this for an earlier class, the mini-term class that already is over. But what I have to do is what it says here. So change this name to a 2. That's it. So you don't go clicking and changing everything. Click to the right, erase that 1, change it to a 2. Okay. And you note you do not type the period XLSX. You do not type it. You see, it says, if you do not see the XLSX file extension, do not type it. So we don't see it and we do not type it because it's using it as an Excel workbook, and Excel workbooks are .xlsx files. If you add that period XLSX, it's there twice, which means it won't upload to MindTap for grading. So follow these instructions. Okay, so I saved it and I'm putting it in there and it's saved. All right. Now, it says check cell B6 and it should display your name. So in the documentation worksheet. Okay. So the documentation sheet is this one. And here is B. Okay. And here is 6. So it's got my name in cell B6. Remember, if you hover over this name box, it tells you what cell you're in, but it also tells you it's a name box and it says your name. Now, as I said with Word, if you cheat, and this is not to suggest anyone in this class would cheat, but I have to always say it. If you change this name, okay, I can change his name, right? John Smith, okay? There, I changed it to John Smith. Pretend there's a John Smith in the class. Well, John Smith may think I've done what I need to do, and you, the person that actually did the file and gave it to John Smith, you may think that you've done what you needed to do, and then John Smith gives you $10 for doing it, or takes you to dinner, or you're just his friend and you just do it for him, all right? Well, I promise you, John, in this case, Maloney's name, there is an embedded encryption key, exactly the same thing I told you in Word. If you cheat, if you use someone else's sheet, the embedded key won't match with that name, okay? And embedded means and encrypted means it's hidden. It's on the file though. It's in the file, okay? And if you change it, I'll know about it. MindTap knows about it. So make sure you do not cheat. And again, I know no one would cheat. All right, fine. So save it, all right? Save it, done. Now, so I'm gonna say that's that. You get credit, remember, for the project steps. So let's see how many steps there are. For this one, there are 12 steps, okay? 12 steps. So you get credit for each step that you do properly. So, all right, project step number 1. And you only get graded on the project steps. You don't get graded on these little things where it says getting started. So Josh Bartell, is the Senior Director of the Pennsylvania Field Office for a New Era Medical, a global company that manufactures medical equipment. He has created a worksheet summarizing the revenue and expenses for the first 3 quarters of the year. He asks for your help in determining what the Pennsylvania office needs to do to meet its targeted profit goals in the 4th quarter. So it says, go to the budget summary worksheet. So here on the right, remember, is the document that I'm working on, the spreadsheet that I'm working on, which is the one I have to submit for grading. So this is where I make the changes. The instructions tell me what to do. I do it over here. So it's saying the budget summary worksheet. So if you look on the bottom, this is documentation. Okay, that's where they asked us to verify that your name is there. If your name is not there, by the way, delete the file and do it again. Okay, download it again. Okay, budget summary. So this is what they're giving us. But this one here, we're going to have to do a formula. These down here, we're going to have to do formulas. These here, we're going to have to do formulas. These here, we're going to have to do formulas. These here, we're going to have to do formulas. These here, we're going to have to do formulas. And that's it. Okay, all right. So in cell E2, no, wait. So at the end of number 1, it says, cut the worksheet title from cell I1. When it looks like like in this case, 11, that's really an I. So you go over to I. So I'm going to scroll over here, sorry. So I see I, okay, that's I. And it's saying cut, where does it say? Cut the worksheet title from cell I1 and paste it in cell A1, okay? So I click in here, right? And I just say Control X. If you prefer, you can right click and cut, or you can also just go up on the clipboard to your scissors and cut, however you want to do it, but you got to cut it, not copy it. So once I paste it, then you don't see it in I1, all right? So I cut it from I1 and I paste it in A1. So I go back to the left. Here's A1, and I just Control V like Victor. You do it the way you want, but that's New Era Medical where they want it. And I hit my save. Every step I hit my save. That way, you know, it's updated, okay? All right, so I've done step 1, and I assume I got it correct. All right, step 2. In cell E2, add the text number off. They have it in bold, so they mean they want us to type exactly this. So we have to type it with a capital N and lowercase off. If we don't type it their way, we won't get credit for it. If we don't type it right, we don't get credit for it. So E2, so here's E, and here you see it says salespeople. But they want it to start with number off, and then and then they put in double quotes so that it looks like that. Number of salespeople, colon. Well, we have the salespeople, we have the colon, but we don't have number off. So I'll just click up here, and then on the formula bar, make the change. So up here, number in capital, and small off, and then space. Then verify. Number on the left. Number, space, off, space, salespeople, colon. Yeah, that's what we want. So then I enter from here, just hit the enter, and now it's done. All right. So I did number 1, I did number 2. And obviously that's no calculations, right? So these are very, very easy steps. Number 3, enter quarter 2 in cell C4 and quarter 3 in cell D4. So in cell C4, so here is C, meaning here's C, 4 is here. And here's D4. So you can see quarter 1 over here in B4. They want this one to say quarter 2, and they want this one to say quarter 3. So I'm just going to type quarter in capital Q, space 2, enter. Okay. And the next one, quarter, space 3. You also could have just copied that if you wanted and paste. That way you get the font and whatever else, and then just change it to 2 and change it to 3. It's up to you, but I think it's better to leave things alone so you don't mess up and just add things the old-fashioned manual way when they ask us to. Hit the save. I'm going to verify though one more time. So it says, enter quarter 2 in C4. That's C4. There's the name box. It says C4. It says quarter 2. And then quarter 3 in D4. There's D4 according to the name box. It says quarter 3. Also remember, periodically go down and look. So now down here, make it bigger again. Okay. So you see quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. You also see New Era Medical in A1 from that other step. Okay. And you also see number off before salespeople. So all those are done. So make it go back to about the right size. Okay. All right. Hit the save again. So then you go back up So it's always good to look at your picture, make it bigger if you need to, and then go back up. So I did step 1, I did step 2, I did step 3. So far I haven't done a formula, though I've done nothing, but I still get full credit for each of those steps. Well, I mean, hopefully I will if I typed them right. All right, so number 4, in cell G5, enter a formula, yay. It says without a function that subtracts the target revenue, which is cell F5, from the year-to-date revenue, which is E5. So when you're subtracting something from, you start with the from. So in this case, we're taking F5 away from E5. So the formula will be equal, and you start with the first one in this case, E5. So equal E5 and then minus F5, okay? Because this F5 is being subtracted. So they said to do this in G5. So here is G, and here is 5. Oops, 5, okay? So, and when they say without a function, so let me highlight all of this actually. Well, let's just highlight this part. So when it says without a function, that means you do not type equal sum. You do not type equal in any letters. It's just equal, and then you put in the cell address, okay? So equal. And remember, it says also that we're subtracting F5 from E5. So that means the formula is E5 minus F5, because F5 is the one you're subtracting from E5. So equal E5, and you can type it, or you can use point and click. In this one, I'll just type it. Equal that one minus F5, okay? So that's done. To determine how much revenue, whatever. So this, in other words, is telling us that right now we're short $1,088,000. So that's basically what they're going to want us to make for the fourth quarter. But all you got to worry about is the number, and look for the answer. By the way, do not type these. Like, you don't type the number, guys. In every class, 1 or 2 people literally just type the numbers. You'll get a 0. I won't even give you 1 point out of 100, and nor will these people. Okay, you have to do the formula. So you don't, in other words, you can't just look at the picture. Again, make the picture look bigger, okay, and say, yeah, a variance 1,088,600. I typed that in. Yeah, that's great. But if you don't have the formula, it's wrong. Okay, so again, that step is correct. So I'll go back to about 100, and then go back to the top, and again hit my save on this one. So save. Okay. All right, so I've done 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me verify the rest of 4. So in cell G5, enter a formula without a function. That's why I typed the formula, G5, right? Yeah, G5. I typed it as equal E5 minus F5. If they said with a function, I would have typed equal sum, open parenthesis, E5 minus F5, and then close the parenthesis. Or if they ask for equal average, or equal count, or equal max, or equal min. Anything with a function has a word or letters after the equal that you have to type in. Okay, so that's all it says. All right, so number 5. Now 5, there's 2 steps, A and B. So Josh wants to calculate the gross margin for quarters 1 through 3 and the year to date. So that's fine. But then they're saying, so provide the information as follows. So for number 5A, in cell B7, enter a formula without a function. Again, that means equal and then the cell address, not anything else. So B7, so let's go over here to B and 7. This is B7, right? Let me hit my escape right here, B7, okay? All right, so enter a formula without a function that divides. Divide is the /. So it divides the gross profit by the revenue. So by, in this case, means you do it with the first one. So gross profit is the first one, so it'll be equal, and whatever cell is gross profit. Gross profit is the one above it right there. So it's going to be equal B6. Okay, so here, equal. And then you can do point and click, like I said, or you can type out the cell address. This time I'll do the point and click. So equal that, and it puts up equal B6. All right, so it says, divides the gross profit, which is B6, by, and then that's then the next. So by means you put the division, and then the revenue in quarter 1, which is cell B5. So there's B and 5. So I divide B6 by B5, all right, and then enter. So now it's 12.5%. Again, I want to make sure. So come down here, make it big, 12.5%, okay? So it's correct. Correct. But again, I didn't type it. I typed the formula. All right. Let me make it small again. Well, normal size. Okay. So that's 5A. Now it says fill the range C7, which is this one, okay, to E7, which is this one. So in other words, they want these three, okay, me to do something with those three. And they want fill the range with the formula in B7. So in other words, I use the fill handle. So I do this thing here, okay. Remember, the bottom right corner of every cell is a green square. The green square is right sort of like to the top left of this hollow white plus sign, okay? When you're on top of it, it turns into a thin black plus sign. See, that's the thin black plus sign. So that's the fill handle. So I click and I drag 2 times, 3 times, because it said apply it to C7, D7, and E7. So then I release the mouse button, okay, and there's the other percent. If you click then in C7, it tells you the formula. It's equals C6 divided by C5. In the first one, it was based on B6 divided by B5. So Excel with the fill handle, I told you before, is always thinking, and it does what, for the most part, it does exactly what we want to do. All right. So 12.5, 12.9, 12.0, 12.5. So again, I'll go down here and verify that they're here. Make it big. So 12.5, then 12.9. Here's the 12.9. Then 12.0. There's the 12.0. Then 12.5. So they're all right again. Okay. So let's go down on top of that. Get that up there. So I did 5A and I did 5B, and they're correct. Well, they look correct. So now I'll just click the save again. Okay. All right. So again, all right. So that's 5A and B. Now I said I only do 3 or 4, steps. I want to basically do 30 to 40%. So 4 of 12 is 33%, but I'll do one more anyway. So I did 4, and now they want 5. So let's see, I did do that one right there. Oh wait, no, what did I just do? Oh no, I just did 5. Sorry, so I've already done 5 of 12. I'll do this one anyway. That should make it about half credit. So Josh needs to sum now. This is step 6. The sales for each Pennsylvania region for the year to date. So provide this information as follows. So 6A and 6B, 2 steps again. So in cell E10, so here's E, here is 10. Okay, so click E10. All right. Enter a formula. Now this uses the sum function. So here that means we're going to type equal, S-U-M, and if you type a function, you have to always have an open parenthesis. So because it says we're using a function, then you type the function, and they're telling us it's the sum function. So equal sum, open parenthesis. When you type, by the way, it doesn't matter. They're not case sensitive. So you notice I'm typing in small, here it's in big. So that's one thing you note. In Excel, there's no case sensitivity on any functions. All right, equal sum, and then they want me to get the total regional sales for the Northeast region, and that's the range B10 to D10. So they want me to get from B10, which is here, to D10, which is here. So I can do it by pointing and clicking in the first one, B10, and then dragging to the right, okay? Or I can just type in and then point and click at B10, or I can type B10 and then a colon and then D10. But I'll do it the easiest way. So equal sum opens, click right here, okay? Hold the mouse button down and go over again. So then you have the range equal sum B10 to D10, verified, equal sum B10 to D10. You opened with a parenthesis after sum. That means, remember, you need to close the parenthesis after the cell address. So enter. Okay. So that's E10. So that was 6A. Now I'm going to do 6B. 6B says, again, use the fill handle to fill in the range for 11, 12, and 13 with the formula in E10. So again, I click on this one. It's got a formula, right? I didn't type. If you type 696, 687, you'll get 0 points for it. So hover on it. Again, look at the cell. Look for the fill handle. The fill handle is that little green square. In this case, it's just under and to the right of that little plus sign. So you hover on it until it's a thin black plus sign like that. Then you click and you drag down, and you drag down again and again, because they said what to drag it to. It says from E11 to E13. So I clicked on E10, then I clicked the fill handle, and I dragged down through E13. Okay, and then I release, hit my save, and now I'm going to check the picture again. So here's our picture down here, and I want to again see it big, so I'll make it big. And they said E, so I was in year to date. So here E is year to date, and we did the 696, 687. So we did that with a formula, and then I did the fill handle to get 1099, 642. That's correct. 311, 178. That's correct. 1 mil 003, 893. That's correct. And then the total was already, I guess the total wasn't there, but it's there now. I don't remember if it was there, but either way, it doesn't matter, right? Because we did what we were told to do, and we have the right answer. Now, we haven't got revenue per salesperson. That's another question. We haven't got variance over here, and we haven't got operating margins down here, but I've done some of it, all right? So I'm going to hit the save. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, right? And then you do the rest of the work. So I'm going to make the picture over here normal again. Come up here. So I did step one. So I downloaded the file, the start file and the instructions file. I opened the start file, and then I saved it. Same name, but ending in a 2. All I did was change the 1 to a 2. I did not add the period XLSX. Remember, look at the instructions. If you do not see that, do not type it. The program adds it automatically. So you hit that save button, okay? Again and again. All right. Get out of there and then click it again. All right, now, and then, so then it's open. I saved it, and then I did the work. I did step 1, right? Step 1 said, you know, he is this person. That's just given background information, so that wasn't any work. But the first step was this thing. Go to the budget summary worksheet and cut the worksheet title. I'm on the budget summary worksheet, and I cut that New Era Medical, which was over here to the right of here in the I1 cell, and I cut it from there, meaning I took it away. I didn't copy it, and I pasted it in A1. So I did that. Then I added in E2, I added the text number off so that the text appeared as number of salespeople. So here's E and there's 2, and it says number of salespeople, capital N, and it's got the spacing, so that's correct. Then in cell C4 and D4, I typed Q2 and Q3. So C4 and D4, I typed those things, Q2 and Q3. You got to spell them right. If you miss one letter or you miss one space, it's all wrong. So don't, make sure you take your time and do it right. So that was that one. Then number 4, I finally did a formula. So it said in cell G5, so here's G and here's 5. So I clicked here and I did a formula, and it said without a function. So if you look at my address bar up here, it doesn't say equal sum. Without a function means you just type the equal and then do whatever they ask you to do for the formula. So in this case, the difficulty, especially when you're doing subtraction or division, is knowing which one is first and which one is second. So you have to take your time and think, right? So the instructions for this one said specifically, in cell G5, enter a formula without a function that subtracts the target revenue from the year to date. That means you start with year to date and then do the minus of target revenue. So if you start with year to date, that says it's E5. So it's equal E5, and it's a subtraction. So then minus, which is the dash mark, and F5. So mine says equal E5 minus F5. Okay, so that was done. That was done right here. And then they wanted to calculate the gross margin for quarters 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the gross margin for quarters 1, 2, and 3, he said, go to cell B7. So here's B and here's 7. Okay, so I click B7, and then I entered a formula, again, without a function. So I didn't type equal sum. It was just equal and the cell address, but it's division, which means it's like subtraction. You got to be very careful. Okay, so it said, enter a formula without a function that divides the gross profit by the revenue. So if it says divides something by something else, the first entry is the first one, divides the gross profit. So it's equal B6 / B5. Okay, so equal B6 / that's division, B5. Okay, so that was done. Then it says fill the range. So then you go to this same one and you take the fill handle. You click on the little green square in the bottom right corner of the cell, and your mouse, your cursor will turn to a thin black plus sign. You click and you drag over to here, and you drag over to here. You keep dragging, in other words, to here. Okay, and I think that's what they said. Let me verify. C7 to E7. Yeah, so C7, which is here, here, but you start with the fill handle from B7, and then you drag to here, to here, and to here, and you release when you get to E7. Okay, and this one was either already there or it was something we didn't have to do. All right, so that was number 5. Then number 6 I did. It wanted the sales for each Pennsylvania region, but this time it said it wants a function. Okay, so that uses the sum function. So I had to type equal and then the word sum in cell E10. So E and 10 is right here. Okay, so the function said enter a formula that uses the sum to total the regional sales for the Northeast region. And then they told us it's from B10 to D10. So I was right here, and here's B10, here's C10, and here's D10. They wanted these 3 added up and the total placed right here. So you start here where they want it. So equal sum, and then a sum, because it's a function, you have an open parenthesis. And then I said you can either do this one plus this one plus this one, but you have to type the cell address, not the number. But the easiest way is to click here and drag to the right. And then when you get to the third one, you close the parentheses. So it's equal sum open, and then B10 colon, which means B10 through D10. Okay, so I did that. And then I used the fill handle to do the same for, let's see, E11 to E13. So here's E11. Sorry, here is, E11 to E13. So in other words, they want these done as well. All right. So I took the fill handle right here from E10 and I dragged down to E11, kept dragging to E12 and E13, and then I released the mouse button, and then those 3 popped in automatically. And that was when I stopped, because I said there's 12 steps and I would do 6. All right. All right. So I don't need to save that. I'll save this for sure. So then remember, you close the file. So save all the time, and then know where it's saving to. In my case, it's saving to download. So if you don't know where it's saving to, you do file save as, okay? But the reason I want you to do a save just before you upload is so you can look at your PC clock. My PC clock says February 25, and it says 8:54 a.m. So then close the file down, but only after you've saved it 100 times. Make sure it's saved. And then you got to close it down, because otherwise when you upload the file, if it's open when you do it, sometimes it doesn't carry everything. So close it. All right. Now minimize this. Well, that wasn't that, but minimize this. Open up my my browser again and go back over here. I don't need that one. Home library. Get out of that one. Okay. So in MindTap, okay, I now want to upload my file. Let's say I had shut it down, or it shut down, or the computer went off. It doesn't matter. Look, shut it down. Okay. I've already done the file. My file I've shut down though. These are other Excel spreadsheets for what we're doing this summer at the Homestead campus and for MDC Online as well. So now I go back into it, because remember I just shut it down by mistake. I say, oh shoot, oh, don't worry about it. It'll just open back up to the same page, okay? And you start. It's still got 3 out of 3 because I haven't uploaded it yet, okay? So I did the download, so I don't do that again. But now I want to upload my file. So you can drag and drop or click. I like to click. So here's click. And again, I left it in, oh, wait, did I leave it in downloads? No, I went to your folder. So desktop, okay, MDC, I think I did anyway, we'll see in a minute. Spring 2022, and then Homestead. And then, where am I? In Homestead. In Homestead, Excel Basic Overview. No, it's not that. This thing here with today's date. See, 2/25 and 8:54. Right now it's 8:55. So this is the file. And that's what I want you to always do as well. Verify the date. Okay, so I'm going to click that. And now verify, it says ends in a 2. It does. Remember, it doesn't have the .xlsx, but it's understood. Now open. So now it's here. So it says, I expect this file name. This is them typing. SC_EX19_1A_John Maloney_2 Remember, you do not add the .xlsx, but they put it now because it is an Excel file name. Okay, the save file, which is the one I just clicked to browse for and then upload it, should match sc underscore ex19 underscore 1a underscore John Maloney underscore 2. Remember, I did not put .xlsx, but I said an Excel file would save that way. So it's the right file. Okay, now I'm going to submit it. And right away, 10 seconds later, it's done. And it says, look, you still got 2 of 3 submissions remaining. So remember that if you need it. So now I'm going to view my summary report. So it's downloading. Then I open the file. And it tells me my score. I got a 48 out of 100. So let's see what I got right. Number 1 is right, 8 out of 8. Number 2 is right, 8 out of 8. Number 3 is right, 8 out of 8. Now, obviously, they were easy. Number 4 is right, 8 out of 8. Number 5 is right, 8 out of 8. Number 6 is right, 8 out of 8. Number 7, I didn't do number 7, right? Yeah, I did 6 out of 12. I didn't do 7, so it's not right. 8, it's not right. 9, 10, 11, and 12. So see, these are worth 9 points. So I got zeros on them. Worth 9 points, I got 0. So I ended at number, this is 8, but I didn't do it again. This is 8, I didn't do it. So the ones I did, I got my 8 points for. So 6 8s are 48. And then there's 2 more worth 8. Okay, 7 and 8. And then the rest are worth 9 to make it add up to 100. It's not that they're any more hard. They just make it, they do a bunch at 8 and then a bunch at 9 and make the 2 totals add up to 100 if you do it right. Okay, so that is it. And then obviously you could open the file back up after you look and say, oh, okay, let's say you got number 5 wrong. Okay, so you can open up the same file. You don't have to restart it. Open up the file that you have on your computer. In my case, right here in this folder here. Sorry, again, the desktop. Actually, it's open here. This one. And then my, which one? Let's see, Spring Homestead. SC, it's Excel 225. This one right here. Okay, so you can open it up again and then start doing the work from where you were. You don't have to redo anything you got correct. You just go to the ones you got wrong or you didn't do yet and then do them. All right. Okay, I have to go. So wish me the best up in Canada, in Toronto, and I'll see you guys back. Well, I'll see you in class from my hotel room in Toronto on what, well, depending on your class, either on Monday or Tuesday. All right, have a great day. And let me get out of the recording. So here, stop recording.